right, hey Patriots, how's it going? I think we're charging here for Mags. Mags, I hope you're having a good hiatus. Dude, you owned Thursday, yeah. So, and I saw your post that you lost some weight, and that sounds like a lot of weight you lost in a quick amount of time. So I clicked the go to the doctor box. You should probably go to the doctor and check. I don't know. It seemed like a lot of weight to lose all of a sudden. Plus, you're going to have to buy all new clothes, man. If you lost 52 pounds in like 52 days almost, then you're going to have to buy like skinny jeans and stuff, man. So I don't know. I'd get that checked out. I didn't think you were overweight to begin with, by the way. But I never, saw you from here down, I don't know. Maybe you did gain weight since I seen you in DC, man. Hello, Beverly. Hello, Derek. How's it going, man? And Belinda. And so we just watched the president's address. I don't know if you guys all watched it or not. I figured we'd get together and talk about it. And just I tried to take a couple of notes as he was talking. It was pretty much all stuff that we knew already. All these pieces of information that have trickled out over the last 6 years, and Trump kind of just put it all together in a massive D-class that he's going to have posted on whitehouse.gov. So I'm looking forward to that. Can't wait for all the geeks to comb through that, but it's basically a bunch of information that we already knew. And I'll go through all the stuff that all the highlights that he hit on in this speech tonight. Belinda, all right, the speech was great. Got to look up many documents. Are paid to cause confusion. J.D. Vance just did a 3-hour interview with Joe Rogan yesterday or the day before. And I saw some clips from it, and I haven't sat down and watched the whole thing. But Stephen Gardner, the guy who I tell you to watch for news, had some clips on of the J.D. Vance Joe Rogan interview today. And Rogan was going on about how these seemingly MAGA people are paid by other foreign entities to get on and cause havoc in the MAGA crowd, which is something that if you got discernment, you kind of knew was going on anyways. I kind of knew that was going on, and we saw like a couple of people get ejected from the party, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know what's up with that, but that happened, so apparently, there's foreign money that wants to see the downfall of this country. And we have to be ever diligent on the speech. So I want to watch the whole Joe Rogan that you should watch it, because when did Joe Rogan when did Joe FJB ever do that? He never did. He couldn't talk for 3 hours in a row. Or Kamala, you would kill yourself before you listened to her for 3 hours, because it would drive you mad. It would drive you mad. It's great. I can't wait till it's done. Is it like homemade ice cream? Voting pages and wood panel walls makes them feel like they're all okay. I don't know, angry baghead. I don't know what you're talking about there. That's a lot of words for a chat, like try to condense your thoughts into a sentence or 1.5 sentences. We could limit it to 2 sentences, because to read like your whole comment there, it takes too long. And just a little bit of advice if you're trying to figure out how to be social with people. I know there's a lot of people looking at MAGA again, thinking, all right, maybe I've been lied to. Maybe it's I gotta give some cooling fluids to the phone here. a lot of people coming around to MAGA because you're starting to see that MAGA isn't the Republicans. MAGA isn't Democrat. It's something that's different. And the way it came about inside the Republican Party is actually a thing that had to happen. It had to happen that way because this is a two-party country. But there's people coming around, and maybe they're just trying to figure out how to be social in a chat. So sometimes their words don't come out right, And like one MAGA instigator who always dresses up the same to, make drama happen at the protests. These protests are pointless at this point, man. They are entertaining. I would rather watch the protests because I don't watch like cartoons anymore on Saturday morning. So I tune into the protests just to see what's going on. But whether they're all waving dildos around or whether they're all singing Kumbaya or whether they're shooting fireworks off at the cops, it's always something different with the protests, and they're pointless. They're totally pointless, and they're paid for. It's not real. It's actors, basically, people that will go out and whore hate for their country for money is what those are. Jeb Bai says, do you think there will be any arrests, or will the Clintons get to them first? That's a good question, I got to look at Lindsey Graham and wonder what happened there, Was a favorite of mine. He was called for Trump to be not impeached, but Article 25 or something. Lindsey Graham was not a friend. And I'm sad to see him go. He was a great politician, but that's the problem. We gave all this money to the politicians, and they instituted a whole system of fraud. They gave out millions of dollars with no accountability whatsoever. None whatsoever. So we could have took up arms, okay? In 2020, 1 million people showed up in D.C. to say, hey, the election was rigged. And look, Joe Biden weaponized the government against everybody that stood up there on that day, okay? You saw what just happened over the last 4 years with the J6ers. We're all very deeply entwined with that story. So we could have taken up arms, but we believed in a more peaceful way. And the peaceful way is through the Constitution, through law and order, and the system that has gotten us to 250 years down the road. So instead of taking up arms, which would have been bloody, it would have been heinous, we would have had to have become evil to do that. We trusted in God. We prayed to God, change our country. And God sent us a man, Donald Trump. And he is leading the way to a peaceful takeover from the coup that has occurred in this country, man. Hey, welcome in, General. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of transmission stuff here, man. So tonight's speech was, I thought, very interesting. And let's just go over it, man. Hey, Jamie, how's it going? So, first of all, Trump announced this speech like 3 days ago. Said on Thursday night, I'm addressing the nation. And Joe Biden never did anything like this. Very few presidents have ever really done anything like this other than like an emergency like 9/11 was or something. So I was looking very much forward to it. And then some information leaked out. Certain people started saying he's going to talk about the election results. He's going to call, there was all kinds of speculation that he was going to call the whole Georgia election fraudulent, or he was going to unthrone 2 Democrat senators from Georgia. You know, a lot of speculation. Just it was a waste of time to listen to any of it until Trump actually spoke. All right. So tonight he spoke. And what he said is that there's going to be a D class. He's in with the DOJ, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Director ODNI, Director of National Intelligence. They're all dropping this information that has been out there floating around. He just put it together. Comes down to it that the CCP, China, has hacked over 220 million voter files. All right, that's like all the voters of America, basically, because children don't have a voter file, right? So 220 million voter files have been hacked by China. I remember when that information came out. People said, "Oh, it doesn't matter. That doesn't, they can't vote. It doesn't matter." So China is highly involved in wanting to see people like Joe Biden be president in this country. So they get involved. They try to influence the election any way they can see fit to do, right? All right, Robert Gavira is reading the documents now. So I'm just going to shoot off a bunch of hot air right now. So I don't know which one you want to watch. Do you want to watch me rant, or do you want to watch Robert Gavira get to the meat and potatoes of what Trump just said tonight? I will definitely watch Robert's video later, man. All this is information that is documented and being released, declassed tomorrow. It was classified. Why was it classified? We the people demand to know this stuff, but somebody hid the information. That's phase 2. Phase 2 is the deep state, whatever that is, suppressed China's activities in trying to alter the election. All right, there's evidence of this. Some of that evidence was these burn bags that we heard Kash Patel talking about and Dan Bongino from the FBI. They found these burn bags. This was information that was supposed to be burnt, and for some reason it wasn't. I don't know. Trump doesn't know either. He doesn't know how they've survived not getting burnt. China made fake FJB ballots, man. They were printing up ballots. I remember when this story came out, there was a reporter, a YouTuber that went over to China, and he was in the printing room of this place in China. They were printing up U.S. ballots on the same paper and everything, man. Somebody in the United States of America contracted. So I remember this story from 7 years ago now. It came out back then, and I looked at it, and I went, wow, China's printing up ballots and sending them into America. Well, finally, the president of the United States is telling us China printed up ballots and brought them into America, man. The information that was in the burn bags concealed China's activities. So our intelligence people knew all this stuff was happening, but they concealed it. At whose orders? We'll find out. It's probably Obama and Comey and that whole team, the FJB cabinet, basically concealed China's activities. So they aided and abetted a foreign infiltrator into our government. Our own, the guys that we pay to keep us safe in this country, concealed what we paid them to find out. Okay, this is high treason stuff. Okay, treason didn't come out of Trump's mouth yet, but this is exactly what we're talking about here, man. Trump went on to say also that the election results are hackable. Okay, this gets into all the machines now, all these electronic voting machines that we've been sold over the years to. Ever since the hanging Chad thing down in Florida, which was probably a setup to sell us the electronic election machines, okay? All of these are hackable. They found ways of hacking them. CIA exposed Maduro's rigged election down in Venezuela, man. So finally, once the CIA was working for Trump, they figured out that Maduro rigged his own election in Venezuela and was an illegitimate leader of Venezuela. That's probably why he's been removed and brought over to America. And that's probably a good source of a lot of the information that Trump was talking about tonight, man. Jay Jones says, I think a good guy hid the burn bags, man. He saved the evidence. Who? I don't know. That's a possibility. Trump actually claimed that it was due to incompetence, that they couldn't even bother to cover up their own tracks. So, yeah, we can speculate on that. But fact of the matter is that information's out of the bag right now, okay? And yeah, I bet Maduro is singing like a bird. That's true. I would agree with you there. So this vulnerability in the election, the electronic tabulation of elections and stuff, urgent action is needed. This is what Trump said. This is we have to do something about that. We cannot endure another rigged election. But the FBI killed the investigation into all the electronic voting machines. So there was a corruption within. This is James Comey and Christopher Wray. We're inside the FBI, covering up China's activities, killing investigations into the evidence of those activities, and that there was a pay to play and cheat scam going on within the country. They were signing up people. There's been cases all over. A bunch of states in America have arrested and convicted people that were signing people up to vote that they knew darn well weren't citizens of America. Department of Homeland Security's preliminary investigations into the voter rolls states that there's 278,000 non-citizens registered to vote in America. And that doesn't even cover all of them. A lot of the states are like dragging their feet so hard on the request from the DHS to look at their voter rolls, telling the people that you don't want the government looking at your information. You know, they're putting a scare thing in to get people to think that if they give over the information to the DHS so they can investigate how many dead people and how many non-citizens are registered to vote. They are just lying to the people, and that is the investigation that needs to happen. But so far, DHS has found 278,000 non-citizens registered to vote. So that's bona fide, verified information right there, okay? Tina Peters will, she will be part of the future of this, definitely, Jay Jones. God bless Tina Peters for not just curling up in a ball and going home. Tina's out there, man. She is giving interviews left and right and is spearheading a lot of this about the machines, man, for sure. Oh, Carol, the smoke is horrible here tonight. It's visibility is like down to like a mile. I can barely see the other side of the river from here. Yeah, the smoke is pretty bad, but it's not bothering my lungs. It's just like in the air. I don't know, but I smoke, so I don't know. It doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, stay indoors. Turn the AC on if you can, or take a vacation down south where it's not smoky right now. Trump also stated that, and as a matter of fact, NBC and ABC did not air Trump's address to the nation tonight, okay? Because they are in cahoots. They are part of the cover-up. NBC and ABC and CBS and Fox all sold us the most secure and fair election in the world happened in 2020. They all sold us that the jab is good I mean, all the media, Fox included, man. I'm sick of these people going, well, Fox is good. They are not good, man. Right on, General. I'm going to rant for another 20 minutes, though. Yeah, maybe they need Trump up in Canada to put the fires out. Don't think it's done unless Trump goes on it, right? The media is part of the plot, okay? They are the people who sell us the idea. But really, nobody's watching the media anymore. I mean, they get 3 million viewers for their newscast. That's less than 1% of the population, really, when you think about it. And we're all getting our information elsewhere right now. We're finding our sources of truth. But NBC and ABC did not air the presentation tonight from President Trump, and they are part of it because they are complicit in it, for sure. States that have been compromised. Okay, so now DHS, ODNI, FBI, DOJ knows that these states' systems have been compromised by China. They know that China's got the information that's in their voter rolls that they're kicking and screaming to not give to, Mark Mullen at DHS, right? Or Tulsi Gabbard when she was looking for this stuff. So the states have been notified, and they are expected to take precautions now so that illegals and dead people are not voting in our elections. You cannot have a fair election if dead people and illegals are voting in your election. Every illegal that votes steals my vote. So what? I'm supposed to go vote when I know darn well an illegal's going to go nullify my vote? No. It's got to be fair, man. Those states are notified now. They are demanded to take action on it. They must do something right now about it. We'll see what that evolves in. The DHS is giving a briefing tomorrow, is what Trump said. So let's see what Mark Mullen says about that from the DHS. And I assume that will have something to do with the states complying to this order to address China's influence and interference in their electronic voting machines. And we need to pass the Save America Act. This takes care of a lot of this right off the get-go, man. All the topics in the Save America Act will make it a law that you have to be a citizen to vote, that you have to have ID, all the things in the Save America Act. And if you don't want the Save America Act, why are they not passing the Save America Act? Trump accused them of wanting to cheat. That includes Republicans, okay? Why did the GOP just spend $100 million on John Cornyn's primary election down in Texas, running against Ken Paxton? You'd think the GOP would be glad either one of them won. It wouldn't even matter, because according to the GOP, they're both great Republicans. But no, one of them, Cornyn, is covering up all this information. The other one, Paxton, wants to reveal all this information. So the Republicans operate on this system also. And right on, Jay. That was the last thing Trump said. Tomorrow, call your reps. Pass the Save America Act. I know a lot of our representatives are already voting for the Save America Act, but if you can stomach it, call your Democrat ones also. I got to call Fetterman, right? I know Fetterman's not going to vote for it because he's a Democrat, even though everyone thinks he's moderate. But nope, tomorrow, the president himself said, call your representatives. So that's coffee and calls in the morning on direct orders from President Trump, man. That's what he said to do. So let's just follow his lead, man. We prayed for a leader. We prayed that we didn't have to do a civil war to save this country. And what do we got now? We won a miraculous election too big to rig, even with all this cheating that was involved in the 2024 election. But regardless, we won that election anyways. And once we take care of all this fraud in these elections, they don't stand a chance. They'll never win another election. The Democrats themselves are saying that. If the Save America Act passes, the Democrats themselves are saying we're never going to win another election, man. Oh my goodness, Deb Vise says, the governor of Wisconsin just said we had a fair, safe, and secure election in 2020, and Trump is the biggest threat to democracy. What do you say to somebody who says something like that? It's such a slice of idiocy that Joe Biden got 81 million votes. And you stack it up against all the other elections before that and since then, and the Joe Biden anomaly of 81 million votes, it's inexplainable. The only way to explain it is cheating, is electronic hacking of the voter results, which is exactly what Trump said, man. Hackable election results. That's what Trump said happened. And the information on that is going to be out tomorrow, man. So if you're a computer guy, I'm not a computer guy, but I can tell you they were hacking the elections, man, because you could see it in the graphs. If you look at the analysis of how the computers were counting the votes that night, it doesn't add up to reality, man. And he won't release the voter rolls. How about that? So he's okay with China having all that voter roll information, but he doesn't want the feds to put a stop to it, you know? Or she. It's a she, isn't it? Your governor is Gretchen Whitmer, right? Or no, that's Michigan. Who's the Wisconsin? I don't even know. I get sick of having to remember all these people's names, man. Yeah, he's a threat to Democrats, that's for sure, man. Yeah, we don't gotta live with their reality anymore. We're done pretending. A mother is a mother, not an inseminated person. Tony Evers, okay, thanks, Deb. But just unbelievable what's going on there. So that's about it. That was Trump's speech tonight. I'd say let's hold the line, go check out, give whitehouse.com some traffic, look at it, see if you can make sense of any of it. I've heard all these stories in the past. I've heard all this information before, but hopefully for some reason now all the people are in place that can make something happen with this, that can put an end to this. And Trump, like he used to say, you got to return the diamonds, man. FJB was an illegitimate president. He's not the only one either. I would venture to say Obama was an illegitimate president too. So once the information proves all that, what does that make every single decision by those two administrations? It makes them null and void. It makes all those appointments null and void. Ketanji, and the ones that Obama sees, Sotomayor, an illegitimate president seated those people. And Congress, Lindsey Graham voted for Sotomayor and Ketanji. He admitted it. He was a good politician, that Graham. All right, in the meantime, I guess Trump is not Trump, but our military is putting the hurting on Iran. It's ceasefire's over. We're done. We're gonna do what we're gonna do in Iran, and I think the time for talk. There's always time for an art of a deal moment, but Iran just burnt the bridges, basically. I think a lot of people stole their elections. Texas, Jay Jones. I think a lot of people stole their elections. And it's not all Democrats. It just boggles my mind that the GOP put $100 million on Cornyn. That, to me, I'm not a Republican, okay? But I'm registered as a Republican. And I think most MAGA people are registered as Republicans, but we're not Republicans. We're more, we're something different, man. The Republicans they're the old club, you know, which I detest. Which I detest, man. What's up, Patriot Roy D? How's it going? So, yeah, that's that. That's the Trump speech, man. Smoky here all day long, getting increasingly smoky towards the evening here. And what else? All right, so this is quite the bombshell right before the weekend. And learn to discern. Learn to discern who is feeding you good information, man. I heard a lot of speculation out of some supposedly reliable MAGA influencers that just turned out to be a waste of time listening to them, man. And a lot of times you just gotta wait till the information comes out. The Charlie Kirk trial or hearing, preliminary hearing, has been going on, and there's still people putting a whole podcast into whooping up speculation over this case, man. And it's a waste of time. But these influencers, they got to do something. Somebody's paying them to do that so they can get their nails done again and they can go get a crispy, beard shave and a haircut and stuff, man. Nobody's paying me, man. Look at my beard and haircut, Nobody's paying me to say this stuff. But this is just from the heart. And it's what I have been asking God to do. We got patience, and Trump is doing it in a non-bloody way. And that I like. There will be no civil war. I do not want any parts of a civil war. But we do need to take our country back. And we got this little fishbowl of communism happening over in New York City that we can all just kind of watch from over here. And it's not going well in New York City. All right, so there's communism. They are making inroads into America all over the place, in addition to Islam. We got all these invading forces in America right now, and we are the generation that needs to address this seriously right now. But it is nice to have a little incubator over there in New York City to see what a communist system looks like. And it's fun watching it implode, isn't it? Well, Virginia's next because they just elected communists down in their state legislature. And we got Dearborn, Michigan to show us what the Islamic invasion will turn into. We got Houston or Dallas, one of them cities down in Texas with the Muslim invasion going on down there. So it is kind of nice. And if we're paying attention, God is giving us these little incubators to watch, so it doesn't have to happen to everybody all at the same time. But if you don't want what's happening in Dearborn, there's a way to do that. There's a way to resist that. If you don't want what's going on in New York City, there's a way to resist that. And it all revolves around fair elections. So one way or another, we the people are going to get the Save America Act or an equivalent. And I really doubt that the Senate is going to come through. But the House of Representatives just voted on it a fourth time, certified it a fourth time. All Democrats voted against it. Every single one, okay? And then one Republican voted against it. Identify that Republican, make sure that Republican never wins an election again in that Republican area, because that Republican is hoodwinking you, and seriously consider your following of the Democrat Party if you're a Democrat. because your party just changed right out from under you. Ask RFJ Jr. or Tulsi Gabbard about that. They are not good. They turned communist, and they're getting more and more communist every day, man. Right on, Jay Jones, man. Rubio's on fire. Vance is on fire. They're all on fire. The Trump cabinet is something to behold. It is really, really something to behold. I hope there's got to be some good books about this in the future, because we can never forget the leadership that God is allowing us to see on our country right now. And we didn't save this country yet, but this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it in a loving manner, in a civil manner, without bloodshed. This is the way to do it with law and order. And I think it's going to happen. I'm putting my eggs in that basket. I will vote for Trump again if I have to. So, all right, yeah, I got to get to sleep too, man. I got to work in the morning too. So, God bless you, Patriots. Mags, I hope you get back on here on Thursday nights. I don't know what to do with myself on Thursday. And all the other Patriots, follow us all. Pray for everybody. Just pray for discernment, that you can see through the smoke in this. The smoke is a metaphor, man. It is so cloudy in the political realm that it's just hard to see who's a good guy. I'm not saying I know everything about who the good guys are and everything, but when one of them shows their colors, you just got to know that's got to get ejected. You know, that's part of understanding that you've been lied to, that you've been deceived, and it's a humbling experience, that's for sure, man. And pray for the president. Iran says they're gonna put a hit on him and all that, but we know that, all just talk. But still, pray for the president, man. Scott Bessent was just talking about how there was an attempt on his life, and the Supreme Court justices, how there's lunatics out there. Their method of solving problems is to go kill somebody. Seriously. And we are forever on our guard for our own safety. Basically, when you need help like right away, the cops are, a couple of 10 minutes away, so you got to take care of your own safety. So that's it, Patriots. I hope you have a good Thursday afternoon or evening, and have a good Friday. Try to survive into the weekend and have a good weekend. This is Jericho, over and out.